Like the day before we're supposed to fly to Miami, everything kind of fell apart. Made a couple phone calls. I was giving him a hard time the whole trip there, telling him, don't address me as Mr. Make It Happen, because I came in and kind of fixed everything.
So, Shell, I see we've got Chef Matt, Mr. Make It Happen, in the virtual green room. We're going to bring him on, and we're going to see what he's up to over, I think he's in Virginia Beach. Yeah. Matt, welcome to How to Barbecue Right podcast, man. How's it going?
Great, man. Excited to be here. Been a big fan of yours for a very long time, so happy to sit down and chat with you for a little bit.
Yeah, man. I was excited when Tyler mentioned that you were going to come on and chat with us. I know you're buddies with our mutual acquaintance, Mr. AB. And he does a lot of good things, and he speaks awful highly of you, man.
I appreciate it. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, he's a good. We actually reached out to me via Instagram, probably, man, it might be 2 years now. So I've been, we've been doing some collaborations on YouTube. We've got the cookbook together. So over the years we've become pretty tight. So AB's a good guy.
Yeah, I got to get me a copy of that cookbook.
Yeah, y'all got a cookbook?
He told me about it when we were out in California last month, and I was like, man, I got to get a copy of that. Where can I get one?
Well, I'll have to send you one.
Yeah. I'd love to have it, man. I know he's got some great recipes, and I'm sure you got some great ones in there too. That's an awesome collab.
Yeah, man. It's a painful process. I'm surprised you don't have one out there as of yet, but it's definitely it's a lot of work, but it's been worth it. We've had a couple of hiccups right in the middle of COVID with paper shortages and labor shortages and all that good stuff. So we did it at the perfect time.
How long did it take y'all to compile the cookbook?
So luckily, in our business, we're, capturing the recipes and taking pictures with thumbnails and stuff like that. So we had quite a bit of stuff that was, usable when it came time to do the cookbook. So that kind of shortened it a bit, but I would say a good 7 to 8 months maybe. Plus he lives in California, I live in Virginia. So just, the logistics of coordinating all of that was, slowing it down a bit as well. So I'd say between 6 and 9 months if you put it all together and focus on it, you probably knock it out. Probably shorter than that if you're not working with somebody else.
It is a big commitment. We've looked at doing one before.
We've been working on one for 10 years.
Haven't got very far.
It's worth it. I'm sure you would do well with it.
Well, I got a question. So where did the name come from, Mr. Make It Happen?
That's a good question. It's actually not food related at all. So it's funny. So this was a long time ago. A friend of mine was having a bachelor party, and his best man, so to speak, typically best men are tasked with putting everything, the logistics together for the bachelor party. So like the day before we're supposed to fly to Miami, everything kind of fell apart. And I made a couple phone calls, and I basically kind of came in and orchestrated everything and put it together. So I was giving him a hard time the whole trip there, telling him, don't address me as Mr. Make It Happen, because I came in and kind of fixed everything. And, it kind of stuck after that weekend, and then I needed an Instagram name. So there it was, and the rest is history. It actually kind of...
I love it. I love that, yeah.
You're the wolf.
I just stuck with it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. We call it the Winston Wolf, whatever, from Pulp Fiction. You got to have a Mr. Make It Happen type.
It's important.
That's the guy that gets it done, no matter what the circumstances.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. You go with it.
There we go. And then,
but it falls
still applies to food, so I kept stuck with it.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. It goes right with, recipes and cooking videos and all that.
Right.
Because there's a lot of times when you just got to make it happen.
You got to make it happen, yeah.
When I was switching over, so I was starting to post food content, I tried to start a separate Instagram, and I had such a better following on my personal that I ended up just killing the food Instagram and kind of merging everything together, and Mr. Make It Happen was the Instagram name, so I just stuck with it.
So are you a chef by trade, or is it something that you just have a passion for? You got into food, or how did that come about?
I didn't go to culinary school. It's just something I've been doing since forever, since I probably turned 18. When I moved out, I kind of had the hangout spot at my apartment when we were young, and I used to cook, and people would tell you that it tastes good, and once people give you a few compliments, you're like, oh, maybe I should, investigate this a little further. And just stuck with it. My dad was really into cooking, and when he passed away, I kind of found myself, getting more interested in the things that he was interested in. He was, into hunting and cooking and, a lot of stuff on the grill. And, I just kind of found myself getting interested in some of the things that he was interested in. And then I just got obsessed with cooking from there. So the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, I think, having a background like that, it shows that you do have a passion for it. It's just not something you're, went to school and learned.
It's something you had to do in your spare time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You had to take the initiative to care about it, to want to put the effort in, and that's what cooking is to me. I mean, I'm the same way. I'm not professionally trained at all. I mean, I worked in a few, kitchens back in the day, but that was just out of needing beer money.
Right.
The passion didn't come. I mean, I didn't realize it, but I was, crazy about cooking the same kind of way.
It took me forever to start posting stuff. Like, I just kind of did it as a hobby, and anytime people would come over, I'd use it as an opportunity to let them try stuff that I was working on. And then friends were like, "Hey man, you need to post this on the internet." I was like, I'm not doing that. So it just took me forever, man. I saw a Facebook memory the other day. How they show you stuff that you posted a long time ago. It was like 5 or 6 years ago, talking about I'm about to start a YouTube channel, and I didn't start it until a little over 2 years ago. So I could have had 4 more years in the game.
Yeah, you've grown a lot in 2 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
The growth that you've had on your channel and the support. I mean, that's
That says something about your recipes.
The pandemic I started it at the best time ever to start a food YouTube channel, probably, right? January, right before the pandemic, was when we started. So I'll take some of the credit, but I think that definitely helped.
So which of your YouTube recipes is your most popular? The one that you probably had the most views on? The one people comment on the most?
I think it's a seafood boil bag. So, those are historically very popular right now. I think I read an article talking about the crab leg shortage. So I think we've eaten all the crabs in the ocean. But the seafood boil bag is my most popular. And then right behind that, I think it's like a simple fried cabbage recipe. My first video that actually kind of took off was like a bang bang shrimp copycat recipe. So I don't know if you guys have bonefish in Memphis, but we did bang bang shrimp. One of the first videos we posted, and it kind of immediately started getting some traction. I was like, oh man, this YouTube thing is going to be a breeze.
In your bang bang sauce, what kind of mayo are you using?
I'm a Duke's guy.
That's okay.
You are Virginia. Yeah.
We're a blue plate house down here. That's what Shell will say. So,
Nice.
But I knew it had to have some in there.
Dukes is the gospel here. Dukes and Old Bay go on just about everything else.
Yeah.
So we've got the Cajun 2-step and blue plate.
I like it.
I love bang bang shrimp. That's one of my, you got to get that appetizer anytime you go to a restaurant that have it, and you see it called all different kinds of stuff. I think Bonefish must have started the bang bang part, but
I think so.
It's boom boom, and I've seen all kinds of different things. But dynamite shrimp, yeah.
Do you fry yours?
I started out making stuff that I liked. Yeah, I fry mine in a cornstarch. Is kind of how I bread it, make sure it holds up to that thick sauce, and it's delicious. I like I said, I started out just making stuff that, one, I felt like I could make really well, and two, stuff that I like, before I realized that YouTube's more about what the people want to see instead of what you want to make. So I had to learn that over the years too.
Do you have a recipe that you think is like just a fire recipe, but you never got the views, or it never got the, the play that you thought it should have?
Almost every time I'm like, this is the one, it never happened.
Yeah.
It's always the video that I almost didn't post. So I got a prime rib video I did. I hate that video, and it's got probably getting close to 1 million, probably around 600, 700,000. So maybe this holiday season it'll get up there around 1 million, but I almost didn't post that video. I just didn't like the way it came out. I didn't like the way it looked. I liked the recipe. It just didn't sometimes it doesn't translate the way you see it in your head versus the way it looks on the video. It's like, that's kind of ugly, but people like it. So
how did you get comfortable filming what you were cooking in the kitchen? That's always something that I find that it's one of the biggest challenge. I mean, there's a lot of great cooks, and a lot of people cook great at home, but to be able to translate, to capture that, to get it edited and to get it out there that you're willing to share, that's a big step, man. So how did you kind of come a part of that?
And have people receive it, and want to watch it.
And that's one of the things when people come up and asking me for advice, which still feels kind of crazy to me, but that's what I tell them is like, mostly it's consistency, right? So anybody that the first time you're doing something, you're not going to be that great at it. So my early videos, to me, the quality is not great. The lighting's, it looks like we're cooking in the dark. Like the lighting's not good. The audio's not good. But you just got to be willing to keep showing up and keep trying and until you get it right and get comfortable. So there's really no shortcut to it unless you're just naturally gifted or, really good at talking or whatever the case may be. But for most of us, the rest of us, you just got to keep grinding and keep working at it. I started out doing just voiceovers. I didn't start, kind of speaking into the camera in my videos until here recently. And I think that's kind of started to give me another little boost in how well my channels perform. And when I made that change, I started to notice a little bit more growth coming along. So just getting comfortable, man. The voiceovers were a pain, and then I figured out, how to do that. And now I'm trying to, get myself a little more comfortable talking into the camera now too.
I think it's ever evolving. You're always learning,
Oh, yeah.
What you could do better.
We had this conversation yesterday. I said the only way to make good videos is to make a bunch of bad ones first.
It really is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You can't, and I think, I subscribe to the idea that there's not bad ones. It's showcasing your journey along the way and what you're learning. So you put something out there. It may not do as well as you think it should, but you're going to have those OG fans that watch it and they want to go through that with you. Like we call it the Yellow Kitchen days. That's like back when we started over 10 years ago. We didn't know along the same way you did. It's like we just put stuff out there and didn't stop.
I can't stand to watch them now.
We didn't look, we didn't. But I mean, I don't want to say we didn't pay attention to the comments. I mean, we saw what people were posting, and the majority of them were positive. But then you're always going to get those negative ones, and those are the ones that are, that kind of weigh on you, and you just kind of take those as a grain of salt and keep on doing what you're doing, like you said.
Yeah, that's definitely part of. That's another thing that I try to tell people is you gotta, some people are the type of people that are going to leave those comments on the YouTube channels and whatever, Instagram or wherever it might be. You just got to kind of keep pushing and focus on the folks that are giving you the positive feedback. Because, some people, if they're just starting out, those things can be real discouraging. I think that the people that are leaving the negative comments don't really take that into account. And you got somebody that's, chasing their dreams and trying to figure this thing out, and you're going to come shoot them down. And some people take that to heart and quit, or, don't take to it as much as they would.
Yeah, let it stop them.
Right? So it's important to kind of have thick skin in the YouTube business.
That's what I was going to say. You have to.
Yeah.
You can't let that bother you at all, or you'll never accomplish anything.
Right.
That's not only YouTube, that's life. It's just easy for somebody to throw that shade on you in YouTube. It's easy to be a keyboard cowboy.
Exactly.
So I've seen you cooking on a big green egg on your channel. Would you say that's your go-to favorite grill?
I love the big green egg. So when I first got into cooking, I was in love with barbecue, and that's actually kind of how I came across your channel probably 10 years ago. Long before I ever thought I'd be on YouTube. But barbecue was my passion before I kind of got into cooking all the way, I would say. But yeah, the big green egg is my favorite. I probably use the Traeger a little more often just because it's so easy. It's kind of cheating a little bit, but I'm a purist a little bit. I would rather use a stick burner, but it just takes so long. It's, when it's time to have some people over, unless you don't really have much planned for the day, you kind of opt for the easier stuff. So, but yeah, the big green egg is definitely my favorite grill.
I like mixing it up like that too, like you're doing, because it just showcases it. And that's what I always say is, like, everybody has different grills at home. We don't all have eggs. We don't all have stick burners. We don't all have Traegers.
Right.
But if you showcase kind of cooking on all of them, it gives people an idea that, hey, I can do this on whatever I have.
Exactly. And that's the same thing applies in the kitchen. Like whether you got a pressure cooker or a Dutch oven or whatever method you try to go with, it's more about, one, what you're comfortable with, and two, how much time do you got. So you need to you need to have the right tools for the job, and based on your constraints in terms of your time schedule. But I'm actually in the process of getting an outdoor kitchen built right now, so I'm excited to get that that'll be a new component of the YouTube channel. Start showcasing some more of the barbecue stuff. Honestly, the reason why I don't post much of it is it just doesn't perform that well for me. So I kind of stick to the kitchen for now, at least. But I'm super passionate about barbecue. One of my favorite foods for sure.
How are you concentrating on any other platform other than YouTube, or is YouTube the primary focus right now? For me,
what I think is part of what I would consider part of my success is that I've been able to try to build a consistent following on all platforms. Like I got almost 100,000 on Twitter. It's super hard to get a following on Twitter. We're doing good on Instagram. TikTok is doing pretty good. So, I'm fairly consistent across the board on all platforms, and that's kind of been my strategy from day one. I don't know if it's a good or, I think over time, I got a saying, you don't want to do it the fastest, you want to do it the best. So I may not be growing as quickly as I would if I just focused on one platform, but, having a little bit of, consistency on all platforms helps, especially today when, all of these platforms are kind of fighting for, they're all starting to compensate us as creators, so it's actually starting to work out in my benefit. But my focus was to try to be good on everything.
Yeah, I like it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's for sure. It's.
I've seen that you've recently put out some rubs. Is that correct? How long have you had those?
So I have my third one actually just dropped yesterday. But my first one came out about it was May, so almost getting close to a year and a half now. And then I rolled out the second one probably, 6 or 7 months after the first one, and this is the third flavor coming out this week. So that's been a huge business, and you're one of the first people I've seen do that as well. So I'm a student of the game. I pay attention and I take notes on who's doing it right, and that definitely was part of the inspiration. But it's a good business to be in if you got the right product.
What flavors do you have?
I've got an all-purpose, and the all-purpose did so well that I made a hot version of the all-purpose. So we added a little jalapeno powder and cayenne and things like that to the hot version. And then I have one that I'm calling Lemon Bay, which is like a baby between Old Bay and lemon pepper.
I bet that was good.
Love that. Yeah. So is it BAY or is it BAE? Because I think that's my lemon bay.
Like a play on words. Yeah, exactly. So
talk about a bull booster. I know that has to be good with the seafood.
Yep, seafood.
Even the lemon pepper stepper wings.
Chicken wings. Yep.
Yeah, I'm already thinking when you start talking like that.
Yeah. Yep.
So are you? How are you distributing? Are you selling primarily on your website, or are you selling you got distribution deals in place, or how's that going?
So right now I'm in a couple small grocery stores or butcher shops. I don't have any major distribution. We're doing everything. I was doing everything right out of the man cave of my house until the wife finally convinced me hey, you need to get all this stuff out of my house. So now we got the office and the warehouse set up, and things are going great, man. We're moving units, so to speak, and no major distribution as of yet. We're in the process of talking to Kroger and a place called Farm Fresh out here, but we haven't landed on anything as of yet. I'm still trying to figure that part out. It'd be nice because we're putting a lot of man hours into packaging this stuff up and shipping it out.
It'll happen, man. I promise you. That's another one of those things. If you put in the work, it will grow.
No doubt. It's a great business. I mean, it's going really, really well for me. Better than I ever expected it to do. That's for sure.
Someone wanted to find your Bang Bang Shrimp recipe or your seafood in a bag or any of your other recipes. Where would they go to find it? So
MrMakeItHappen.com actually just finally bit the bullet and paid for that. Somebody was paid for that and held on to it for a while. But now it's finally MrMakeItHappen.com, and then Mr. Make It Happen on YouTube for the recipes. I'm transferring all the recipes over to the website as well, so you can have the written ingredients and description, printable recipes on the website. Also, all the products are on the website as well, so everything's at MrMakeItHappen.com.
I'm sure the cookbook's on that website too, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Can you get it on Amazon yet?
Not yet. We've been talking back and forth on. I think the next batch we'll probably do something with Amazon. We haven't made the final decision on that as of yet.
On a second publish, I like that thinking. Means you're moving some cookbooks.
Yes, sir.
Well, cool. Well, Matt, we really appreciate you taking time out of your day, coming on here and talking a little bit about your business and what you're doing, man. We wish you all the luck in the world, man. I know this is it's a fun job to have when you're cooking. You're cooking for people and filming it, man. It doesn't get any better than that.
Best job in the world.
And then I know the rub business can be up and down. Some days you wonder why the heck you're doing it. Yeah, but it's worth it, man. I tell you, if you stick to it, I know you've been really consistent with everything you're doing. So I won't be surprised if you do this for a long time. So congratulations on everything, man, and just thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, man. Likewise. Again, big fan of everything you've been doing. Been watching for a long time. Like I said, long before I ever decided to do this myself. So I think that you probably influenced a whole lot of people that you may not even know about to take on this job, so to speak. And hats off to you for being one of the pioneers of what we're doing. It's a whole industry now. So you were early to the game.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate you watching. That's what I tell everybody. If y'all didn't watch, I wouldn't be here doing it. So.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, man, y'all follow Matt. Check him out on all the platforms. It's Mr. Make It Happen. MrMakeItHappen.com. You can check out his 3 lines of rubs he has, his seasonings. Get that cookbook, and y'all give him a follow and check out what he's doing over on the East Coast.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So that was cool. Matt came on, told us a little bit about his business, what's going on over on the East Coast.
I can't believe he's only been doing it for 2 years.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a ton of channels that started right at the pandemic that just blowed up because people were staying at home cooking and watching content like that. It flipped the script on YouTube growth.
Yeah.
Like ours, it took us 10 years to get to where we were, before. I mean, it really did. And you've got guys now that, man, there's so many. It shows you how many eyes are on it now.
Yeah.
They switched from watching things like the Food Network cooking channel to where they're getting their cooking stuff on their social platforms.
I mean, the cooking channel didn't even put out cooking shows anymore.
Yeah, it's all reality TV stuff.
Yeah.